Hi everyone, it's the history show tonight, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And but first and foremost, I'd like to thank my sponsors for the Frank Carlyle Show, and it's Gap Painting Services. Honestly, these are first class lads, fully insured, fully. They're all, how can I say this? They're experienced painters and decorators. Time served lads. They go in and do the job. They're absolutely amazing. And they can paint straight lines, believe it or not. Not like me, you're getting paint on the ceiling. But these are absolutely brilliant. And if you're a senior citizen, I don't like saying pensioners or whatever. If you're a senior, you get great discounts. You really do. You get great discounts. And also, if you're if you're an NHS worker, great discounts. But even if you're not one of them and you need something to just get them in, they're absolutely stupendous. I've had them in and they're dead reasonable, honestly. And that's just not me. And today, I went over for a talk on the way over to Wallasey. And I've got a big presentation of this talk, big presentation. And it wasn't until next week. Poor Anthony and Lainey brought me over there. And then we had to come back, if you know what I mean. I wasn't going to camp out till next Monday. And, but they're great friends of mine. And it never, it's hard to explain, how I felt. I felt terrible. But nothing budged them. They just said it's okay, no problem. We had a cup of tea and everything else at the venue. It was a beautiful place, by the way. And so back there again next Monday. Back again. I just wanted to, before I bring our lads in, it's paranormal as well tonight. Got a paranormal fellow on. But what I want to do, I'll just read out some of these. Daryl, Frankie. Hiya, Daryl. Tony LFC. Hello, Frankie. Hope all's well, mate. And there's a pint now. Thank you, Tony. And he carries on. Hello. Let's start the show. Frankie's on the air. Legend Sir Frankie says, Daryl. Paul Sarah, good evening. That's lovely, that. Good evening, Frank. I hope you're okay. Yeah, I'm good. Is this the paranormal show, Frank? It's not. Yeah, he's on for the next hour. And if he wants to stay with us for the 2 hours, that's fine. Jamie's a good friend of mine. And I can tell you something about it, which you will when he comes on. Because I went out on one of his walks. Oh, 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 oh. And Captain Sal. Even Frank, even the captain. And Lynn Ellis. Even Frank, hope you're all. Yeah, I'm well, thank you. But one thing, even Anthony doesn't know this. When he dropped me off, and they had to go somewhere anyway, Laney and Anthony. And I came in, and you know the way you do, whatever I was wearing, I took off, and so it was hot. So I decided to go and bare feet. And when I was walking, I had to go into where all the what tools I've got and all junk, and I stood on something. And do you know the way you go, ah? I bit my tongue, and the blood just went. split my tongue up, split it open, and it wouldn't stop for ages. So that's it. I didn't think I'd be doing this because it wasn't only about 2.5, 3 hours ago. I could talk. Couldn't even talk. It's underneath as well. Split it. But anyway, at least I can talk, which is, which I don't know whether it's good or bad. Whether it's good or bad. And I've been thinking about all the problems we're having, and it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. And, I'm not saying the focus is on Liverpool. I'm not saying that all the focus is on Liverpool, but some of it. But you had our own. I seen a podcaster, one of our own, walking around saying, "Oh yeah, still smouldering and all this." We don't need that. We don't want anybody to give this, the bite about Liverpool. The bite about Liverpool. We've got enough problems, and we've had them for years. So that annoyed me. And as Lynn says, next time, see your teeth out. Thanks, Lynn. Oh, got a laugh, haven't you? Anyway, I'm going to bring my friend and counterpart, and there he is, international artist, Anthony. Hey, Anthony.
Good evening, Frank. I'm so sorry to hear about that. You changed right. Yeah, we leave you alone for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and it was 5 minutes.
My God, must have been a full moon.
Oh, it was terrible. The blood just went, frightened me actually, and it wouldn't stop. Anyway, a good job I had tissues. I just thought like this, and well, it stopped anyway. Well, it was all right. But you know what, Anthony, I couldn't stop.
What's that place, please? Yeah, the Nelson Hotel.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. I couldn't talk. I was going to. Honestly, couldn't even phone Francie. And I didn't like to phone you, to say, because I know Laney would have turned around and got back to me,
You would have. You would have.
I know that, mate. I know. And, well, yeah, it's the way it is. And, I'm all right now. I'm still in pain, though, still in pain. But the show goes on, as they say. Oh, there you are. Hi, Frank. Oh, that's good. Open ears soon, as if you eat or drink, it'll sting. I know it's. I tried to have something before. This has been horrendous. Bolton got it yesterday, and it's happening now in Plymouth.
Yeah.
It's just nuts. Everything is nuts.
Mindless.
I'm going to bring the wonderful Jamie in. I haven't seen him for yonks. A paranormal fella. And there he is. Hiya, Jamie. Jamie. Jamie, I can't hear you. This fella's good, This fella is good. When he gets his things right. It's very unusual that he's, very. Can you just Jamie? Jamie, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, but can't hear you. No, can't hear you. So, and they're all saying hello and Lynn Ellis and even an Anthony says Lynn. Lynn says how you doing? And Tony LFC, even and Jamie. Hello, Jamie. It's. Do you want to go off, Jamie, and try and come back again? Okay, mate. All right. See you in a mo. See you in a mo. I'll take you off a minute, Jamie. Okay. Right. The thing is, I was sitting there yesterday. I was sitting there yesterday, and I was thinking all about what was going on. I was thinking all about what's going on, and not just here, not in our country, but everywhere. Everywhere. I'm talking about the Middle East, which we're on the precipice of a Wales War. We are Wales War 3. We're on the precipice, and also what's going on in Ukraine, and even now in Africa. There's Africa there kicking off as well. It's incredible what's going on. No. This is what we're not hearing about. So everything is terrible. It's awful what's going on around the world. And I mean around the world.
Yeah.
There's America. Well, look what happened to Hawaii, Niue, in Hawaii. And people were destroyed, killed and everything. And the Americans haven't even helped them. That doesn't come out. That's it's just shocking. So anyway, these wars and everything else. And what I did, I write poetry. And I was thinking of all this. I was thinking what was going on here. I was thinking what was going on in the Middle East. I was thinking what was going on. And, even Europe are escalating. And people don't realise that. They're escalating everything. While we're struggling. We are struggling. And I think Starmer, I think he's out of his depth. But everything is being blamed on him. Not only blamed on him, but it seems to be forgotten from Cameron right through all these stupid prime ministers that weren't elected. Only Boris Johnson was, that lunatic. And they're just blaming Starmer for everything. That seems to be forgotten what they caused.
No, I haven't forgotten.
Neither have I. So anyway, they dragged us into wars. They dragged us into everything. So what I did, I had written a poem. And it's only it's a sonnet. And I wrote this yesterday. I was just sitting there and thinking of all this and what's going on even in my city and every other city. But it wasn't, my city, Liverpool, that is, wasn't as bad as other cities, if you know what I mean. It wasn't as bad. And I wrote this poem, and it's called The Moon. As I said, a sonnet is a 14-liner. It's a 14-line poem. And it has a rhyming couplet at the end. A rhyming couplet at the end. The moon. There is no rich or poor or poverty living on the moon. There is no starvation or famines living on the moon. There is no hatred of each other living on the moon. There are no destructive leaders living on the moon. There are no wars or territories living on the moon. There are no nuclear bombs living on the moon. Can I please live on the moon and live in peace very soon? That's what I wrote. That's what I wrote.
Yeah. The moon is beautiful, but we know that the minute we fill it with people, no, the world is a beautiful place.
And there it is.
That's wonderful. Yeah. No
There
hate.
is no rich or poor or poverty living on the moon. There is no starvation or famine living on the moon. There is no hatred for each other living on the moon. There are no destructive leaders living on the moon. There are no wars over land and territories living on the moon. There are no nuclear bombs living on the moon. Can I please live on the moon and live in peace very soon? And that's the way it is, that's what I had written, because I just, I think about my granddaughter most important.
Yeah.
And what kind of a life she's going to lead as she grows up, if there is a life to lead. And people have to embrace, people will have to embrace what's going on today. Because if they stick their heads in the sand and think nothing's going to happen. I was doing some research, and it said that a nuclear bomb that can be undetected, by the way, not shot down, heading to London, just saying London, and it'll get to London within less than 300 seconds. Less than 300 seconds, and it can't be shot down. It's ballistic. It goes that fast, nothing can shoot it down. And so, I think people have to really understand what's happening rather than, ignoring things. Well, that's just me anyway, as a historian. I'm being honest. That's just me. But, you see things. I'm going to see if we can get Jamie on. See if he's okay now. Jamie, can you say something? He's frozen.
Can you hear me now okay, Frank?
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hey.
can hear you.
You've got brilliant.
Blimey, Jamie. This is Anthony.
What's
Jamie.
That?
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Anthony. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I was just thinking, Jamie. I was saying to people about when I went with you on that paranormal thing.
The Lomax.
With Jason.
That's right. He was in the Lomax in Cumberland Street.
That's right. And I said to her, yeah, go down, no problem. So brave Frank went down. And Jamie ended up laughing at me at the end because
I've got great memories of it.
I've got to tell them, haven't I? I've got to tell them what happened. Now, there was loads there. Even our Francine came down with her friend.
That's right.
And she didn't even know Jamie. You'd never met her, had you, my daughter?
No,
No, you didn't. And a friend, because I have to say that, because what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
So Jamie, and I had a photographer with me, Paul Frost, cracking fella, Paul. Anyway, what had happened was he had us, there was lots there, and he said to me, Jason, and Paul Frost, he said, you come with me. He said, I'm going to see where we're bringing the people. So I just said to them, oh, yeah, even our Francine, I said, you stay there, okay? And he said, yeah, okay. So they would just stand there, standing there, just talking away. We went upstairs. And Jamie said, someone will fall, will feel, we were in this like area by these balusters, this balustrade thing. And he said, someone will feel nauseated and go and sit on that chair over there. So, okay. And he said, also, someone will be standing somewhere there and feel someone brushing past them. And a colleague of mine came down with us as well, a historian, great historian, by the way, as well. And he was standing downstairs. So there was only myself, Paul Frost, and Jason listening to what? And one of Jamie's colleagues as well. And telling us. So we all part, he shows us more things. And he goes downstairs. So Jamie's then takes over, he's talking to them. Then we all go upstairs. And we get to this place. But first and foremost, as we were upstairs, this is how good these people are. If anything's like not phony, but something happens and you get a bit of a start, a noise went, and like rattle, and wind, and we all went, oh. And Jamie said, no, he said, that's okay, that's just wind, that's a letterbox, that's just being blown open, and no problem. And then, honestly, standing there, and Francine's friend, Carol Mary, she went, I feel sick. And without saying anything, she walked over to the chair. Jamie said that someone will feel sick and sit down in that chair, and that's what she did. And she sat on the chair. So anyway, that was spooky, though. That was spooky. Now we're all talking and everything about Jamie's talking, whatever. And do you know the way you see something go past you? Like, as Jamie's talking, something goes past me. Just like that. Gone. And you look around and nothing's there. Now, my colleague, John O'Ware, he's standing. And he's standing more or less. He's not with the group or crowd, if you know what I mean. He's not with, he's standing on his own. And he turns around like this, just like that. And anyway, and I'm spooky now. So John comes up to me and he goes, someone walked past me, I said, did he? He said, yeah, someone walked past me. Anyway, we carry it on and we're doing all these things. And I went, I'm uneasy. I feel uneasy. I said to Jason, I'll have to tell Jamie I'm getting off. Because I did feel uneasy. And I said to Francine, I'm getting off, And she said, okay, Ted, I'm staying. And a mate stayed as well, who had to sit, felt nauseated and sat on the chair. And I went up to Jamie and I said, Jamie, I've got to go, mate, I'm sorry. Didn't I? And he kept inviting me up. Kept inviting me up to these other places. I said, thanks. So Jamie,
he's never been since. Anthony's never been since, Frank.
No, I haven't. Because he kept inviting me to these other places, and I just wouldn't go to. Never again. Put it that way. Never again. So what's been happening with you now, Jamie? What have you been doing? Paranormal activity and whatever?
Oh God! Well, as you can see, I've got my own. I do my own radio stuff for a community radio. I started off with Jason, if you remember, Frank. It was on there, and sadly, Jason's show radio went, and I carried on with the other one I'm on now, and I've been there. I think I'm up to about 210 shows now on this. We go out doing investigations, we do interviews, We talk about different subjects. We try and get people in and talk to them. It's just like non-stop. It's been fantastic. It's actually something that keeps your mind going. You know, if you're sitting around all day, it's nothing worse. I know it sounds a bit strange saying the paranormal keeps you going, but it does. It's like anything. If you've got that excitement, it's great. I've had. I'm actually. Can I mention it? That there's what's it called? A TV program coming out in October, and there's a documentary on that, and I can't name it yet because I've had to sign the contract. But there's a TV documentary coming out in October on Netflix, and I'm on that. I'm interested. I'm not well. I don't know how long I'm on it for, but I was there for the full day. Yeah, full day with them from like 10 o'clock in the morning. We didn't finish till like after 11:30 at night. So, well, that was a bit strange. That was. But yeah, in between, I'm going out and about, getting out places, locations. We've done, Allerton Towers. Yeah. We've done paranormal investigations here. Phenomenal place to do paranormal stuff. I'm just in the middle of. I'm in the process of writing a book on the paranormal of a location which Frank won't go to.
Definitely won't go to. Actually, the one I'm
the one in St. Helens, yeah. I've actually, with the thanks at the way you put your acknowledgements at the front. You're in it, you're in it, and Jason's in it because of from the pack. But yeah, because you gave me the platform to start pushing me forward and things like that. So we always. There's one thing to do is remember people who've helped me along the way. So that's something that it's only a small acknowledgement. I'm saying a small acknowledgement. It's important to me that I acknowledge the people who've helped me down the line, and I've got a list of people so that you put them in it. You never forget who's helped you.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. It really is because
if
you follow the paranormal. Can I just say, Lynn Ellis, hello, hiya Jamie, Tony Ellis, evening Jamie.
Hi Tony, nice to meet you.
Paul Turner, hello Jamie. So
Paul, spitting image of Kevin Keegan. Have you read?
You mean Paul? Yeah.
It's not like Kevin Keegan.
Yeah, so Jamie's a big head as well because these are these people are.
Liverpool, yeah.
Because they come on with they come on with podcast on a Tuesday and a Thursday, talking about the Reds, which is excellent. And when I was mentioning before about what's going on in the world, you say stock markets are crashing, and they are. Japan has gone. The stock market has just crashed. Japan, so how bad it is. Just happened, Starmer is top man now, so we get to do. Yeah. Ali Nusa, our Romanian friend, good evening. And Gary Rigby, the families of those poor little girls, and this is what got me, to be honest, are suffering, and people are smashing up their own communities. Yes.
They're riding on the back of a tragedy.
Everything, it's a bandwagon.
Yeah.
It's a bandwagon.
Yeah.
And, aye lads, let's go champs, say Steve. You'll never walk alone. And my mate Steve Evans, Starmer is a bad blade. And he's out of his depth, I'm afraid, Steve. Companies making weapons, their stocks are soaring. The greatest, what's happening in this country is the very same because we're all making a lot of money. But it's our arms. It's our arms that's making a lot of money. And keep and believe it or not, just the economy afloat, albeit that it's well down. And our manufacturing has gone out at the top 10 just recently. So our manufacturing things in dire straits. It's absolutely horrendous. But getting back to your, can I just mention this, please, boys? I'll just mention this because I'll be going back to this. Right? And this was written. This was by a Reverend Malthus, and this was written around 1794. 1794. And he says, "We grant you poor a right to exist, but only to exist. The right to multiply you have not, nor the right to exist as befits human beings. You are a pest, and if we cannot get rid of you as we do other pests, you shall feel at least that you are a pest, and you shall at least be held in check, kept from bringing into the world other surpluses, either directly or through inducing in others laziness and want of employment. Live you shall, but live as an awful warning to all those who might have inducement to become superfluous." And that was written by a clergy in 1794. And he gathered all these, at the time, all these poor people, when he was gathering them all, and you see this man of the cloth, and they thought that they were going to get something to eat. Thought he was going to feed them. And this is what he came out with. And that's how they look. That's how they looked at people then. And I'm being honest. I don't think it's changed. I really think it's changed. Nothing happens. You've only got to look today at what Keir Starmer's done. Now, he's a Labour Prime Minister. Allegedly a Labour Prime Minister. Now, they're supposed to look after the working classes and the pensioners. He's given the pensioners mean testing. Mean testing. Not only the pensioners, but everyone who's, who can't work or anything. And to me, that was a Tory ploy. But he's doing it. I think it's shocking. I really do. But I'll be getting back to that because I'm going to show what we thought as, I haven't got it up there, but what it was I was thinking of was David Lewis, the fellow who opened Lewis's store, because he came up from London and he seen what's going on here. This is shocking. And what he did, he opened a store, only a small store at the beginning, called Lewis's. So people, the likes of, poorer people, could go in. They couldn't go in shops. And they used to, go in and say, well, buy something this time. That's what David Lewis did. Then, he opens up a hospital in the north end of the city, and it was known as the Northern Hospital. Then he opened another one in the southern, south part of the city, which was known as the Southern Hospital. And not only that, but he also opened up so that the poor people could go and be entertained, and it was the David Lewis Theatre. This is what this man did. This is what this man did. But I'll be going back, like, as the stream goes on about these things. So I hope you didn't mind me doing that. It's just to get the ball rolling, to be honest. So stay with me and find out what I've got lined up. And it's great. It's brilliant, honestly. And it brings back great memories for me as well. And a lot of you out there, you people as well. Even if you don't come from Liverpool. Even if you don't come from Liverpool. There's Jamie Reid. Even if Frank and guest and chat. And Yusuf says, Lockheed Martin is one of them. You wouldn't Coco. You wouldn't Coco. And that American lot, the Raytheon, making a lot of money. And Steve says, Starmer is Tony Blair's side. Yeah, I can't say the word, unfortunately. But you're right. Steve says, people think they have not freedom of speech. They don't. If we don't agree with their system, we fight back. They kill us or imprison us. Look at Julian Assange. We are all Julian Assanges, absolutely. Absolutely. I always had on my shows, as you know, Steve, free Assange and my Palestinian flag. I've been chased off Facebook. Could never get back on it, I don't think. Been trying. And Facebook won't look at, like face-to-face. And I've been thrown off. Get onto this, mate. For fraud and deception. Now, you know that I was hacked. And they don't, we tried to say, listen, I've been hacked here. But they just because it's my name, they won't get hold of me directly. They just sent me a message saying you've been, you can't get on because of deception and fraud. So they haven't defrauded anybody. It's the hacker. Take no notice. And Kenneth Marsh says, indeed, populist quake, Deba, Alam Imperium, fascist legionary. Oh, come on, I'm near non-second. Oh, come on, what are you coming out with the coming out with it all as Latin? And the people which formerly gave military power high officers, legions, all now contains itself. Eagerly desires two things only, bread and circus kings. Was that Marcus Aurelius who said? Sure, it was Marcus Aurelius who said that. The phrase bread and circuses means something offered as a means of distracting attention from a problem or grievance. Absolutely. Yeah. Facebook is so wrong in lots of ways. He's led appeasement of the poor, as we know, says Kenneth Marsh. Thank you, Kenneth. So what I'm going to do now, people, I'm going to go right to Jamie. Because you were talking about Netflix there.
Mm.
So you go into, well, obviously you went into a place to do these, this paranormal activity.
Yeah, it's about a documentary of a person I know. It was a few years back we went into this place and some very, very strange things happened. He had blood all over his hands, which even I couldn't explain where that come from. We did EVPs, but what we've done is we put it in water. It sounds a bit daft. We put the microphone or the recorder in water, sealed, left it for a couple of hours and come back and record some really good audio on it, which we'd never done before. And what I'd done is I wrote a load of stuff down on a piece of paper from the location. I never told him, and I never told Steve, who was there with us as well. Put it in my pocket and kept it there all night. All the information he came out with, at the end of the night, I said to Steve, who was doing the experiments with him, I've got a piece of paper here with everything on it, and what he's been saying tonight is correct. Everything's correct. When he gave him the paper, he nearly fell off his chair because he said that it was an experiment, but I never told them anything what was on that piece of paper, and he come out with, and I can't say what it was, but
no.
What he came out with, even I was amazed because there was no way he would have known it because he'd never ever been in the building before. That's why we done it there, the experiment. It was called the Phenomena Experiment, and it was brilliant.
So when is it coming out? October or something on Netflix?
It's on Netflix in October, yeah. Unsolved Mysteries, that's all I can tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you got anything else in the pipeline?
I'm actually going out later on tonight. We're actually going to do some recordings tonight. So I'm not sure where we're going. We might be going up towards Lancaster way. I'm not sure yet. I just need to get out for a bit. I was up in Wales last week. I went to see my brother up in Wales. We did an ancient. In fact, Frank, you'd love it. It was an ancient village, right in the middle of these ferns and everything. You can just go in it and do it, but we just went in there and done a paranormal investigation in there. That went out last night, actually. Recorded it and then posted down. Anything can record paranormal investigations. We recorded for about an hour, but we never ever cut it, and we never ever say what's on it, because when we put it out on the show, we want people to feed back to us to see what they've got out of it. Because as you probably know, if I tell you a story and I tell you what's going on in these audios, it's going to be there in your head already. Whereas we want people to interact with it, really, not to be fed the information. We want them to interact and think, that's, this is what happened, that's what happened. So it's going both ways. So they're part of that investigation. And the reason why we do it as well is because there's people at home who can't get out on investigations. So it's nice to get out there and do it, and then put it out there for the people who can't get out, so they feel as if they've been, well, hopefully they feel like they've been part of the investigation.
Do you know what, Jamie? I don't know whether you've ever been here, but a friend of mine, photographer, he rang me up. Jared Fleming, great photographer.
Yeah.
And he rang me up. You know Jared, don't you, Anthony?
I do, a lovely guy. I'm grateful for you. Yeah.
Well, he phoned me up and he said, do you want to go into the orphanage? Because I was always talking about the orphanage he built it, whatever, given the history of it. And I went, yeah. And anyway, it was a Saturday morning. And I went up there. There was Gerard and this fella who owned it. And, he greeted us, lovely man. And I went up. Have you ever been in there, Jamie?
Yeah, I've been in twice.
Okay, I'm glad that. Do you know, there's like a very small corridor, and it's got little cupboards on the side.
The children's part.
It's what?
Yeah, it's where we were told that when children were misbehaving and things like that, they put them in there. Yeah. Okay.
Now, so anyway, we're walking down, and they're all shut, all the cupboards. They're all shut, the cupboards, because they're very low as well. They're not big, high cupboards. Bit your tongue then. They're all very low. So as we were walking, the door opened on one of them. The fella walks past first, and then I'm behind him. No, I'm behind him. And then the door just opened. So when I took no notice, and, just like closed it, just went past, and, Jared followed. And we went in, and there was a beam. There was a beam, and there was a rope hanging from it, which had been cut. And the fellow was talking, the owner, and he said, unfortunately, I said, what's that? I said, is that where, it looked like a gym to me. I said, is that where they used to climb ropes and vault over horses and things like that, in the gym? And he said, unfortunately, that was a suicide. And I went, why? Yeah. And I went, and you know what, it shocked me.
Yeah.
So as we were walking out, I wanted to get out of there then, this gym. I hate things like that. And as we were walking out, Gerard was walking first, you know, and that man, no, I was behind Gerard. And as we were walking, the bloody door, the same door, opened again. And I turned around, and I didn't want to touch it, but the fella, the owner, he closed it. He was behind me. So anyway, he closed it. So anyway, he gets up, and I said, well, why don't you fix that? He said, overnight, you hear things, and it comes from here. He said, and that cupboard that's, what did he say? He said, that's not the only cupboard that opens. He said, I've come up here. He says, and it's even frightened me. He said, all the cupboards opened and closed, opened and closed, opened and closed. And I just looked at him and I said, oh, you know. Anyway, we goes down the stairs. He wanted me to give a talk there. He was going to have a dinner. And it wasn't even like done up or anything. Just paint was flaking off the walls. And he said, and we were standing on this balcony. He said, you know, this is where the tables are going to be. I want you to give this talk. And I was looking, and I said, what about all the flakes? He said, no. He said, this is the way I want it. This is the way I want it. And I mentioned you. I said, I've got a friend there. He's a paranormal fella. And I said, you should get him in here rather than me giving a historical talk. And he went, no. He said, I want you. I don't want any paranormal stuff or anything. I said, but it looks like this. Anyway, we came out of there and we walked down these stairs. And I don't know where we bloody were. And there was like an orangery, you know, like a big conservatory. And I looked at myself. Anyway, we walked through there. I didn't want to go in there because there was a bloody chair rocking. And we walked out of there into this other place. And I seen all this lovely stainless steel. And I thought, I said, you know, at least we're in some sort of place where I thought they were all ovens, you know, like a kitchen.
I know where you were.
And I went like that to the fella, and I said, this is nice. I said, that's the only shiny thing. Everything else has been decrepit. He said, yeah, we try and keep there's a fucking morgue.
Yeah.
And
there's the little chapel there as well.
I never waited there. I just said, oh, listen, fella. I said, and the other fella was laughing his head off. He was laughing his head off. And he went like, I said, why did you bring me up here? You knew that. He said, yeah, I wanted you to be frightened. He said, because I was frightened as well. It frightened me.
We were there, I'm going to say about 8 years ago. And you know the way you were saying children's corridor where they put the children into the rooms and shut them in when they were naughty? Well, did you go through the big hole as you were going up there? You went through like a hole and you turn left and then you end up in that corridor. Well, we were walking through that room. There was only 3 of us, and they walked ahead of me because I was like taking everything in. And I was going, wow, this place is phenomenal because the history in there is unbelievable. And as I was going through, I heard the voice, and it went, I want me mum. And I turned around and I said to me, mate, yeah, try and frighten me. That's what he's going to do, isn't it, Don? I said, you trying to frighten me and all this? He said, Jamie, we're down here. How can we frighten you up here? And I said, well, you just whispered, I want me mum just to scare me. I said, it didn't work because I know it's you. And he went, it wasn't us. It really wasn't us. And it was a really clear voice. But it was like not a loud noise, but like it's just like, I want me mum. But a child's voice. I thought it was them and it wasn't. And going to the mortuary. Sorry, Frank.
Go on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was going to say to the mortuary part where you went, Don, who was with us, we actually opened. Did you see where they put the bodies? The big, well, what you thought they were nice and shiny.
Yeah.
That's where they put the bodies. If you open the door, the trays pull out, and that's where they lay the bodies. Yeah.
So he just walks over. I thought they were ovens.
Well, my mate actually lay on one of them, and I shut him in and shut the door, and he recorded some. He got some good audio on that as well, but whether he still got it or not, I don't know. But did you see where the ovens were, or what you call the ovens? Yeah. Did you see the little tiny door to the left? There was like a little tiny door. There was a little tiny door, and it was no bigger like a coal bunker door.
Okay.
And the fellow who was showing us around, it wasn't the same fellow. He opened the door and he said, "Jump in if you want." It was 2-3 foot jump. So I jumped in. I was walking around. I was wow. It's like a big, massive building. And he said, "Do you know what you're walking on there?" I said, "That looks like a massive hallway. I don't know what it is. Whether it was somewhere where they used to exercise now, I don't know." And he said, "You're close to what it is." He said, "But what they used to do is when they incinerated some of the bodies, because as you know, it was a kind of asylum thing as well." He said, because they had no money or anything like that, he said they used to go in there and spread the ashes around on the floor in there. And I jumped out straight away because I thought, I'm not walking around in there because it's disrespectful to whoever's in there. And so I just jumped straight out and I wouldn't go back in there again. But and then we went into there's like a chapel there next to it. You've got the place where they had the bodies. Then as you turned round in front of you, there was a door. If you go through that door, there was like a chapel. Fantastic chapel, beautiful the way it was done and everything else. That was the creepiest place I've been in there. I know the place is creepy, but in there that was really creepy. And Don's actually was on the other side of the building. Next time they radioed through on the walkie-talkies, they needed help. They got so disorientated. So me and Don had to go through the whole building together to try and find, with the walkie-talkies. And he would actually said he went really dizzy on these stairs, a set of stairs. And we found out then did you see the stairs? And he had that big metal, it was like high on the stairs. To stop, it was to stop the suicides, wasn't it? They were called the suicide fencing or something, to stop people jumping onto it and jumping down, down them. And she was saying where she was feeling dizzy, and then the fella came out and said, "This is where they used to try and do suicides."
But there were suicides in there. Before, there were suicides which couldn't be prevented. And this is the horriblest thing. It's like, Jamie, when we were in the place that I went in with you, and there. Now, as I said, when this thing passed in the corner of my eye, it just went, you know the way, and you look, and it's not there. It's happened loads. It happens loads of times.
It's like your peripheral vision.
Yeah. And now, as I said, it passed. It just passed. Anyway, I looked, and where it went, or whatever it was, where it went, in the direction, the trajectory as it was going towards John O'Way. Who went, I felt someone, and it's probably what you said, someone will brush past him.
Right. Well, John stayed the night with us, didn't he?
But John
well, John went, if you remember, I don't know whether John told you, we went up to the top of the floor. I think you went up with us at first. We went up to where you've seen the big, massive crane where they used to do the postal stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I went there,
Just below that, there was a room, because they used to have a radio station in there, and we went in there to have a look, and we decided to do a ghost hunt in there. And John was in there, and Darren Kane.
Oh, Darren,
and we were in there, and we were doing a call out on that. Darren, and I'm sure John saw the same thing, was like a small child from the waist up, and he said he could see the hair and everything, and we couldn't see it, but the two of them, I'm sure they could see it, and he was saying it's got, like, she's got a ponytail hair and everything, and that was in that room. But it was quite an active place, the Lomax.
But I got off. I got off. I just said I'm getting off, and I did because it was very eerie. Do you know?
Yeah.
You know, I lectured about the Romans, and there was always a thing about down south, one of the home counties. I think it was Kent, and there's a pub that's still standing there today. And in the cellar, over the years, and I'm talking about over the couple of centuries, they've seen Romans walking. You know, you don't see the legs; they're just walking. Have you ever heard anything like that?
Yeah,
you know,
it was in York, Frank. It was a place in York, and it was I think it was a plumber who went down into the cellar, and he was working away in the cellar, and all of a sudden, come through the wall was the Roman soldiers, and he said it was like an army of soldiers just walking past them, but they were like from the knees upwards. The legs were all down on the ground, you know, underneath. And he just went through, and then what they'd done is they researched it, and he found out that the Roman road, what was actually there, when they excavated it, there was a Roman road at the lower down to where they were marching. That was on a program, I think it was called. There was a series out on TV, and that was actually on it. And the fella was telling a story about that, and it was up in York, because as you know, York is famous for the Romans.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
I used to take students up there.
Yeah, I love that place.
The biking centre.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And the Redbird says, it delights peeps. Frankie needs them for his algorithms. And Will P. Well said, Redbird. Press the likes, people. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Redbird. And Jay says, yep. I've hit the like. And Will P. thanks him. Look at this. Yeah, lads. Good evening, Frankie and guest and chat. Now drink these lads. That's the outfield, though. Well, as Jay said, I drank them. I drank them. I drank them on fields anymore.
Fast drinker.
Do you know what though? You know when you look at things, like I don't know, like cemeteries, and you know, I know we all end up in a cemetery, like, but is it? You don't go to cemeteries, do you? And do any things like that?
Certainly do. Yeah. There's one not far from where I live, which we've done a few times, and it's been fantastic. I've been up to one in Derbyshire, which is a what do you call it? It's supposed to be witchcraft in there. It's supposed to be witches buried in there and everything else.
Okay.
And it was one of these secret graveyards. But got told where it was. So off we went up there, and it was no bigger than, I'd say, what? That's a garden. That's somebody's garden. It was not that big at all. And that was a very strange place. That you get to an end, and where I was going to, we were trying different experiments, and there was times when you felt as if somebody went past you, brushed past you, or pushed you on the arms and things like that. And then when we found out, when we were talking to the people who took us there or invited us along and we met them there, they were saying that's where the witches are buried, just where you are now. But like, I never knew, didn't know that at all. But yeah, we do quite a few graveyards.
Have you ever been up to Pendle? You know the Pendle witches or anything like that?
No, it's on me list though. It's on my list.
Is it on the bucket list, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to know about that because I was talking to. I'm going back years ago, and they were. I don't know whether it was like anything to do with paranormal. You know, like when he said he visited there. He said, but there's a hell of a lot of activity. What he said, he's not a paranormal fella. He just never even spoke about paranormal or anything like that. And he said, I tell you what, these ghost hunters will be frightened themselves because he went somewhere and he said it frightened him. And it was open fields as well. Open
it's well
field.
known. Yeah, it's well known.
And he said it frightened me. So, that's why I asked you, but it's on your bucket list. Be interesting.
It's one place we want to go to. We went to one years ago. I don't know whether you ever heard of it, called the Ancient Ram Inn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ancient Ram Inn. I've done there, and that was a really creepy place, that one.
Was it?
Sorry, yeah, the first time I ever went there, John who owned the place, sadly he's passed away now. Such a lovely fellow he was. I used to speak to him regular on the phone. And we went down there, we done an investigation there. And there's a barn in there. Oh, the history of it's fantastic. We were sitting in there, and me being me, I was just calling out, and I said, look, if you're here, do something. Do something, let us know you're around and that. And next minute, down the far end of the barn, I could see these like sparkles, little sparkles. And I thought, that'll be the electrics, that, because it's an old place. It's probably got sparks from the plug or something. And then next minute, I was just sitting there, and I went, come on, do something. And on my life, my chair started to rock. Like I was like doing that. And I went, come on, stop it. And my chair stopped. So the girl who was next to me called Kerry, I said, just put your hand on my chair and just feel what happens in a second. I said, if it happens again, just feel it in a second. So anyway, I said, come on, do something more. And anyway, my chair started to rock more. Then I went, pack it in now. I said, stop that. And it stopped. And I thought, hey, I'm doing all right here. I'm actually controlling what's going on. The next thing, there was a mist at the bottom of the door. And I seen it. I thought, there's a mist there, so it must be cold out. This mist come right up. Right. I've never seen it since, except there's one at Mill Street I'll tell you about in a second. But this mist came, and it came right in front of me. And I swear I saw the face in it, and then it just went right into my face like that. And it just went, woof, gone. And I went like that. I think we need a break now. So we went and had a break.
It really frightens you, that.
Yeah, because I thought if it can do that, it can do something else. So anyway, a lot happened that night after that. And we decided to go back a month later. So we've got to go back. Because the group we were with, there was that much happening to them. They just wanted to get out of the building. So we said, okay, we were their guests. Let's go. So we come back a month later. We had to go back a month later and do it ourselves. So we stayed there most of the night. And I decided to go back into the barn again. And I thought, I'm not sitting on that. Don't know why, but you think, I'm not sitting on that side again. I'll sit on the other side as if it's going to make a big difference. So I'm on the other side, and Hazel, who was with us, and I'm calling out. It was about 9 or 10 of us in there this time. I felt a bit braver then, there's 9 or 10 of us calling out and everything else. And the next minute, right next to me, there was like bump, bump on the table. And as the bangs went, Hazel said, there's something next to you, Jamie. Whatever it is, it's aiming for you. The first thing I done then was, okay, if I'm in some kind of danger, or I feel as if I'm in a danger, I'm not gonna stay. So I went out the barn and I sat with John in his little room where he sits. He has his little place where he sat, and I sat chatting to them. About 20 odd minutes later on. Sorry? I didn't hear that, sorry. I thought somebody said something.
No.
All right, so I went and sat with John in his little section where he sat, and I was just chatting away to him and relaxing. And then he came out and said, what else happened in there? Because there was no way I was staying in there. And he went, after you went out, Jamie, the atmosphere dropped completely. It was just dead, pardon the pun, but it just went flat.
So I've got to finish here because I've got to go to a break.
Yeah, no
Jason, that's what he said. But do you know, like, do you know the way you attract things?
Yeah.
You reckon that you attract these like spirits and things and stuff, this paranormal stuff? Just a quick yes or no.
I think so, yeah. Go and have your break and I'll say yeah.
All right, unless the break, I'll see you all after the break. And I've got something for Anthony after the break as well, because I think he'd be made up with this. And you, Jamie, and everybody else.
The significance of why we're on this particular site of the Metropolitan Cathedral, Christ the King, is simple. Because it was on this site that Sir Richard Chadwick led a Liverpool scientific team from Liverpool University, and they, in fact, split the atom, and not the American Robert Oppenheimer. Of course, the cathedral wasn't here then. It was just the old workhouse that Liverpool University acquired. In fact, Oppenheimer came over incognito right to this site because he needed the literature to perfect the atom bomb. Without Sir Richard Chadwick, the bomb would never have been developed. Staying with the American connection, just around the corner from here is Abercrombie Square. And if you want to find out more, just follow me. Behind this unassuming Georgian terracing lies the American connection. Here in Abercrombie Square, during the American Civil War, an agent arrived from the Southern Confederacy, and it was in this building that Charles K. Carlyle, on behalf of the Confederates, acquired and thus became the first and only Confederate consul. Isn't this beautiful? Imagine this was someone's home at one time, and indeed, the Confederate embassy. But when you come to think of it, when you come through the door, on the ceiling in the vestibule lies the palmetto tree, which symbolises the Confederacy. Take a look at this. The vestibule ceiling is the Confederate palmetto tree. It's been here since 1862 and today symbolises some American southern states. It's still thrown proudly today in Carolina. If you think that's impressive, wait till you come in here. And as they say in the southern states, you ain't seen nothing yet. Follow me. This looks like any ordinary other office. And as I keep saying to people, look up, have a look at this. Isn't this fantastic? This ceiling is quite remarkable because it depicts Southern intellectuality in the form of ancient Greeks and Romans. Notice how the tablecloth symbolises the Southern parasol that lady so proudly paraded. Incidentally, one of Liverpool's greatest sons also lived here, Noel Godfrey Chavas, MC, VC, Bar, the only man to win 2 VCs in the same war, the First World War. An historical building like this deserves a special garden, but mind you, you have to cross the road to get there. And this is the garden, this is Abercrombie Garden. And right behind me, what do you think that is? Is it a bandstand? Is it a pergola? Is it a pavilion? Well, when we have a little look around, we'll give you time to decide what you think it is. Did you guess what it was? It wasn't a pergola, it wasn't a bandstand, and it wasn't a pavilion. What it was the poshest tool shed in the world. Killing that. We're just about to leave Abercrombie Square on our way to the medical institution, and I nearly forgot this. The very first established School of Architecture in 1801, right here. Some of Liverpool's finest architects studied here. Herbert J. Rouse, John Foster Jr. and Sir Alfred's Waterhouse. Need I say more? Here we are again in a cemetery, and if you've seen some of our previous adventures, I seem to be in cemeteries all the time. However, this is a very special one. This is the grave of one of Liverpool's greats, a real Liverpool unequalled. Kitty Wilkinson was an immigrant from Northern Ireland, and she came over in 1794, and unfortunately her father was drowned because they shipwrecked on the way to Liverpool, and her baby sister had also drowned. And when she got to shore in Liverpool, she was incarcerated and indentured up in Lancaster cotton mill. She returned to Liverpool at the age of 19 to look after her mother. While she was here, she saw the devastation that cholera, dysentery and typhoid was causing the ordinary people of Liverpool, and she went into the deprived areas to look after them. And it's a well-known fact that Kitty actually brought in waifs and strays. She brought in families and looked after them and fed them. She also realised that the cholera, typhoid and dysentery was contagious, and it went into clothes, but not ordinary clothes that you wore, but also the clothes on the beds. And she went out to the leafy suburbs to wash in lime, diluted lime. But she never charged the poorer people, because she charged the classes that little bit extra so she could look after the working classes, shall we say. And that's Kitty Wilkinson. Unfortunately for Liverpool and for the rest of the world, may I add, that Kitty opened the very first wash house. And what you see all around the world today, laundrettes that people go to and use every single day. And people today can thank Kitty Wilkinson. A real Liverpool unequalled.
My story is a true one, of a lady who once lived. She was called the Hound of Heaven, gave all that she could give. Catherine was her given name, but the world was soon to know she'd be known as Kitty, and a legend soon would grow.
Oh, Kitty Wilkinson, you can measure the worth. Oh, Kitty Wilkinson, an angel on earth.
She found herself in Stylo Mill. Imagine the things she saw. Children working filth and grime and sleeping on the floor. But Kitty learned to read and write. She heard the carter say, Liverpool's the place to be, and it's not too far away.
Oh, Kitty Wilkinson, you can measure the worth. Oh, Kitty Wilkinson, an angel on earth.
Mr. Rathbone gave her away, this girl of common sense. She realised that cleanliness was nature's best defence. Though Kitty came from the Emerald Isle, we claimed her as our own. Waging war on cholera, this lady stood alone. She had little time for self-regard. She washed the sick and lame in conditions we could not believe, when disease would kill and maim. Sacrifice was all she knew. She became the widow's friend, and she won the love of orphan kids, was fearless to the end.
Oh, Kitty Wilkinson, you can
Victoria honoured her, and Liverpool did the same. In our cathedral for all to see is Kitty's window pane. She's resting in the graveyard at the Church of Old St. James, and if God alone should hear my voice, he'd remember Kitty's name. He would remember Kitty's name. How can we measure her worth? Kitty Wilkinson was indeed an angel on earth. An angel on earth. Oh, Kitty Wilkinson, you can measure the worth. An angel on earth.
What you think of that? I didn't know he was putting that up. That's my record. Oh, that was me and Billy Kinsley.
Fabulous.
Me and Billy. Absolutely brilliant. You know, he's a gentleman, Billy. And he was in a studio recording that. Just got to say thank you, Billy. Love you for that. Really love you for that. Thank you. And that's his painting. You did his portrait, Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah, a wonderful man, Frank.
Do you remember that day? Do you remember that day we were down there?
I remember it so well, yeah. I did. He came in and he didn't make straight for his portrait.
Yeah.
He was seeing other stuff and telling you the history of different musicians.
And what a storyteller he was as well.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Incredible. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I remember him saying about they were waiting to get into Abbey Road Studios, the Mersey Beach, and Lennon walked in the cafe and he said, "All right, lads, all right, John." And he said, "What are you doing sitting here for? You were in there, you know." And he went, "So Dave Clarkson there with his band, and you know, they won't let us in." He said, "Well, he went, so well, Lennon threw them all out." I said, "Oh, come on, lads." And he was actually on one of the songs, Lennon. You know, I forget what song he said. He was jamming with in the studio, you know, because he was there on the day.
Wow.
Great little story that from it. But anyway, hey Jamie, have you got to go?
About 15 minutes, Frank. We're off to we're doing a paranormal thing, so.
So Jamie, is tonight, Jamie? Is that for your show, or is this...
yeah.
So
it's for
do you find yourself walking in areas like through town or whatever, and then sensing that such a location feels like a place viable?
Yeah, Anthony, yeah, it's true. Yeah, we do that, and it's funny because sometimes like you're driving along and you go, "What am I doing here as an investor?" So you look it up then to see if you're allowed to go in there, and then the next minute we go there. One of our favourite places, St. James's Cemetery. That's brilliant, St. James's Cemetery. You know, behind the cathedral there.
Yeah.
We've done that quite a few times. I never get bored of that place. It's fantastic.
Well, can I come in here because Will Peace says, and let me carry on what he says as well. Smithtown Cemetery, there's supposed to be a ghost that hangs around near the bus stop, especially at night time. Also been a few crashes on the road near the cemetery, and someone walked into the car. That's what he's saying.
I mean, somewhere like that, Smithtown Cemetery, we'd love to do things like that, but we try and weigh up as well, you know, if it's near houses or anything like that. If you're going in there of a night time with torches and, you know, bits and pieces, you've got to weigh it up for, well, health and safety, one of them, and, you know, your own safety and everything else. And two, that you're not disturbing the neighbours. So we'd have a little drive down there and have a look. And if we feel that, you know, yeah, we can do that when it's not a bad place, we'll go and do it. You know, if anybody's got ideas of places, we certainly would do them. And like Will's put there, you know, the figure in the cemetery, yeah, we'd go and do the cemetery.
Well, what Will say is, you know, he carries on by saying, I actually saw a white figure a few times by the cemetery when I was a bus driver.
Wow. I'd tell you what, Will, I'd love to go and do that cemetery. I think with the kids being off school and everything now, I think you get disturbed a lot. But, you know, you wait for things like that in like areas like that is when the kids go back to school, so you can go down there and you're not disturbing anyone or they're not disturbing you and things like, you know, just to keep out the way, really.
Well, my mate there, Jay, MNX, because he uses his lad's team, whatever it is, anyway. And he said, I said before, mad stuff happens in his house, but not all the time. It seems to be in the winter months, and activity starts to happen. Weird to explain. That's in his house.
Yeah. But it could be that something's happened. You know, it might not be because it's the winter time. It might be that's when it, you know, it could be an anniversary. It could be the time somebody's passed away. It's that time of thing, you know, that time of the year. It's like there's a thing called the Stone Wall, or the video one, where it's replaying on that date every year. You play it, so it might not be because it's just the winter. It might be because that's when it happened.
And Lynn says, you done that poll? You by any chance, Frank? Yeah, I did. I wrote it yesterday, the sonnet. I'll try and do it before we leave, you know, at the end of the show, because it's only what's going on throughout the country, throughout Europe, throughout the Middle East, throughout. Brilliant song, that, Frank. It has a 60s feel to it, says Gary. Thanks, Gary. Thanks. It's lovely, that. And carries on by saying, commercial roads on Vauxhall Kirkdale feels haunted to me.
We actually, I mean, Gary just reminded us there, we actually did Kirkdale Prison quite a few years ago. That was a good one. I've actually, well, you've seen it, Frank, when you remember when we done the live from the old house, and I've actually got the candle thing from the condemned man's cell at Kirby Prison.
Well, do you know Colin McEwen by any chance?
Sorry?
Colin McEwen. He's a producer, director. He does all Jimmy McGovern stuff and others as well, you know, direct everything.
Never met
him.
But
anyway, he asked me to go up to Westminster Road and talk about a VC. I said, yeah, sure, I'll do that. So anyway, I went up there and he left me in this bloody day. I was freezing. And I met Ian Hart, the great actor here, lovely fella as well. Anyway, I was chatting to them. And when I came out, he said to me, you know, I've done what I had to do. He said, would you do me a favour? I said, what's that? He said, can you come up next week? He said, I want you to bring these people around Liverpool, you know, next week. He said, but can you come up the day before? Say like he wanted me to go up on a Wednesday and take these people around on the Thursday. I said, yeah, okay. And we went to St. John's, old St. John's School. And he said, do you know what this is on the way up? I said, yeah. I said, this is where they hang people. He said, yeah, that's right. And what it was, the school bell was the death toll.
Wow.
You know, because they used to, you know, like pull the bell, you know, when they were waiting to go and to be executed. Public hanging, you see.
Wow.
It was called a recce or something like that. I don't know whether it's still called a recce. I just don't know anymore now. whether it's been built on or whatever. I'm going back a few years ago. And we were standing there, me, Colin, this other fella, and we were talking to this, I think she was an ex-teacher, woman, ex-teacher, and she was an old lady, you know, very old. And all of a sudden, a bell rang, like the bell, and it just shut, even Colin jumped, you know, because it was all of a sudden, a bell rang. But she didn't jump, she was a little bit startled. And I said, have you still, can I have a look at that bell? She said, no. She said, that goes now and again. And it's just one of those times that it goes. I said, well, where's the bell? She said, it's well gone. There's no bell here.
Wow. I thought, Anthony, I thought you were going to say something then, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you know, there are things that have been, you know, when I said to you, do you attract like these things? And you said to you, well, I think it happens to me now and again.
Can you just tell a story? Can you just tell a story, Frank? I as you know, I do the same similar to you. I interview lots of people. I'll mention Mill Street Barracks in St. Helens is a place I've been there for 12, 13 years. And we were doing a podcast from there. And I got hold of this lad called Sean who I wanted to do an interview with. He said, yeah, I'll do it for you. And so I went into the studio. We had the podcast studio in there then. So we get him on and started doing the interview with him. Suddenly, I heard voices down in the main hall. I said, hold on a minute. I said, keep there. I'm going to carry on recording it. I said, because it's you know, that's the way it is. So anyway, I went out into the hall. No one there at all. You know, I thought one of the staff had come in. Nothing. So he goes back in and said, oh, it's all right, Sean. There was no one there. I said, we'll carry on anyway. And anyway, as I'm talking, the door opens of the studio. Just literally opens on me. You've seen movies where the room goes really, really cold and you feel it. It's bitterly cold.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever seen it where I've seen my own breath. And that's when I started to feel a bit uneasy. I wasn't like, I'm going to get attacked on. And I just felt really uneasy. It felt really, you know, I said to him, it's gone really cold in here. Can I just mention, if you go onto my YouTube channel, Access Paranormal Podcast, Radio, I think it's about show number 13. If you listen to that, the whole story's it. The actual radio show's there. And then all of a sudden, there was knocking. And to cut the story short, I asked him, could I change it so I could record from home, carry on recording from home? And he said, Jamie, you're a paranormal investigator, carry on. And I said to him, I remember saying to him, it's all right for you, you're at home. I'm in like this building. But anyway, we carried on and the room went cold again. We had footsteps. I saw something walk past the window. It clearly walked past the window. The window started to shake. That's when I knew, you know, I need this show over and done with. And at that time, the show was 2 hours long. So at the end of the show, he went and I just switched everything off, got out the building as quickly as I could, get in my car. And the funny side is I forgot my mobile phone. It was still up in the studio. So I was like, oh, Christ, I've got to go back in now. So I went back in and literally I was like worrying about getting up the stairs. And I was going, I'm going, it's all right, it's only me, you know who I am, it's okay, I'm fine, I'm just going to get my phone, talking to nothing, you know. Well, I wasn't talking to nothing, I was talking to whatever was there. Grab my phone and runs back out the building, locks up and everything else, gets in the car, and I'm sitting in the car and why didn't I just put the lights on? Why did I not just think, there's the switches here, the whole place will be lit up? But my mind was so set on getting in the building and getting out again, I forgot to turn any of the lights on.
Your mind becomes scrambled. It really does, because you don't know what to do, you see, because you've got that on your mind. You just want to be in and out.
And then,
that's all it is, you know. You say, I'm waiting to put.
Yeah.
And, well, Lynn Ellis, she says, my son passed in 1981, but every year he comes to visit me.
Good. It's nice. I mean, as long as it gives you comfort, that's fantastic.
Well, Well, I remember staying in my grandmother's, and I heard her talking one night, you know, in her bedroom. I was in bed. And anyway, the next morning, I gets up. I said, who are you talking to? She said, Mary Sugar. I said, who's Mary Sugar? She said, oh, and she mentioned this Kitty's daughter. And she died when she was 6 years of age. I thought she was messing. I said, why do you call her Mary Sugar? She said, well, her mother used to, like, I'm going back years and years ago. She used to curl her hair with sugar and water, so he called her Mary Sugar. And I said, and she died, a few years ago. And she said, yeah. No, I left her at that. And ages and ages after, I heard her talking again. I said, who are you talking to? And she said, Mary Sugar and your Uncle Jerry. I said, is he home? Because he went away with me Auntie Leah and the kids to France, to Spain. And they went by coach and coming home. Jerry had died.
It's creepy, isn't it? You can't explain it.
No,
you can't explain. I mean, years ago, I've said this before, years and years and years ago, if you talked about the paranormal and seeing ghosts and going on ghost hunts, you'd be a crackpot, you'd be a nutter, you'd be an outcast and everything else. Today, yeah, but today, you can talk about the paranormal as commonly as you want, and the amount, it's unbelievable, the amount of people who come out with their own stories, it's fantastic. And
because
there must be something there. Yeah.
But it's all because of films and things.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at films and well, that's happened to me. Yeah. It's like Jay there. As he says, also when this activity occurs in the winter months, our dog goes nuts. Saw him barking at a wall in the corner of the room. No window, nothing, just aggressively barking.
Animals are fantastic. Animals are superb for sensitivities, because they're good with people as well, because you've got them where they go in the hospitals and everything else like that. So dogs' senses are better than ours, and they pick up before you do. And we've took a dog a few times on ghost hunts, and we had one where he wouldn't even come up the stairs. He went upstairs and shot back down again. Much bigger coward than I was, but animals are fantastic. But I wouldn't like to put them in. I wouldn't like to take the risk too many times with animals because it's not for our entertainment anyway.
But can I just do a couple of comments? Gary Digby. My niece was a toddler. She used to stand on the kitchen stool and sing old songs. She shouldn't have known. All music songs she shouldn't have known. And this is when she was a toddler.
Wow.
It used to scare her mum, my sister. Now, how's that explained? And the FC blogs. Hello, everyone. Jamie. I've always wanted to do ghost hunts, but you hear about spirits following people back home. Is this true? Is this a true thing to happen? Just puts me off, doesn't it?
Well, I've been doing it for years. Sorry, go on, carry on. Yeah.
Also, what's the best but genuine paranormal show on TV? I like a lot of them, even the old Most Haunted, but a lot probably have fake stuff for entertainment reasons. So can you answer them the first and the second comment?
Yeah, the first one about spirits following you home. I've never had anything follow me home yet, ever. And I've been doing it for years. I think if you invite them, never invite anything home. Just say, don't ever say, do you want to come home with me? Because that's like inviting you for a cup of tea or anything like that. That's when you can have a couple of issues. But I've never had anything follow me home yet. I always try and be respectful to them. I'm never nasty to them. And when you leave in a place, when I've done a ghost hunt, I always say thanks for letting us have it. Thanks for, making contact. We appreciate it. And basically, the way I'm talking to you now, when the show's finished, I always thanks very much for having me on and things like that. I do exactly the same to the ghosts, because show them respect and also say this is your home. You stay here. We'll come back and visit you again. And I've never had anything follow me yet. I've never been harmed. Touch wood. Never been harmed. I've never been possessed. I've never seen anyone possessed. I've never been harmed. So, yeah, I think people say things have followed them home, but they must have done something to cause that. Whereas I've never had anything follow me home yet. It's just try and be respectful to them. I can't remember the other part of the question. No, about the most proper one on TV. Personally, go to YouTube and watch them on YouTube. There's some fantastic paranormal stuff on YouTube. TV's entertainment purposes only.
Well, listen, I've got to get on with my little history, Jamie.
Okay, can I just say one thing? Paranormal Lockdown. Go and watch. Too late. Paranormal Lockdown. That's the best one on there. If you see Paranormal Lockdown.
Paranormal Lockdown. Listen, where can people find you, Jamie?
Just go onto, if you can go onto Facebook and just put Access Paranormal Podcast, and you'll see us on there. Or if you go onto YouTube, we've got Access Paranormal Radio, Access Paranormal Podcast, and Access Paranormal Investigate. Any of them there, or you can contact us by. Can I give me email address out, Frank?
Of course you can.
Yeah. You can also email us on info.accessparanormal@gmail.com, and or get in touch with. Let Frank know if you want to get in touch with us, and Frank can message me. Yeah.
Well, Jason will throw us on the thing.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah.
It'll be all right then.
You're welcome.
So listen,
yeah.
It's nice. It's nice. So if you want to get hold of Jamie, just get onto R1 and it'll be up there. Everything will be up there.
More than welcome to any questions. Yeah.
And even Will P says, thanks, Jamie.
You're welcome.
But, JJ MNX, he says, that's what I say, and as you all right, you crack all them off to bed, good night, even though I want to bolt out the door. So anyway, listen, Jamie, will you come on again?
Of course I will, Frank. Always for you, you know that.
To frighten us.
Anytime, Frank. Well, to frighten you, Frank, why don't you come along with Anthony on a ghost hunt with us?
Have you ever heard? You please. Oh, you're having a laugh.
Oh, sorry.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Well, Anthony will hold your hand. It's no problem.
I can't hold anyone's hand when I'm running.
I can't run.
No, honestly, God, there's nothing to be worried about.
Well, just before you go, Pack Home Chances, what did you think of the late Derek O'Connor?
I've met Derek a few times, and he was a lovely, lovely man, very honest man. To be honest with you, I think what he does on the TV, it's not him. I think it's the contract he has to do. I think it's sad that he's passed away, and I think he gets a lot of flack for no reason at all. If you met him, he was a genuinely nice person, and I've got nothing bad to say about him. Genuinely a nice man.
Well, I was in a play with him, and it was like a parody to Scrooge.
Right.
I was one of the three ghosts. Me, Pete Price, and Derek O'Connor. We were the three ghosts to the late, lovely Dean Sullivan.
Oh,
At
Dean,
the Empire. So we were in a play there, which was mad.
Wow.
Anyway, listen, Jamie, I've got to crack on with my little history thing.
Well, we're going on the ghost hunt now, so.
All right, mate. So come on again, eh?
Definitely, just let me know when and I'll be ready for you.
All right, see you in a couple of weeks then.
Okie dokes, thanks. Anthony, it's lovely to meet you as well.
Amy, it's a real pleasure to listen to you and to meet you. And I'm going to check the Facebook and everything tonight.
Brilliant.
First thing, you've got my head full of all sorts of stuff there.
Well, feel free to message me if you go on anything, any questions, feel free.
Well, Anthony's done it. Yeah, look, I'll show you. Anthony's an international artist. And that's his portrait there of
Yeah. That's brilliant, that is.
And he's done one of me as well.
Yeah, I've seen the one of you, Frank. Do you know what that picture reminds me of? Willy Wonka, what's his name?
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder. It looks a bit like with Gene Wilder in that picture as well.
Do you know what? He's got that temperament, gentle, gentle man, but wow, just a vat of talent and stories and wisdom.
Such a gentleman.
Yes.
Wow.
Such a gentleman. And as I said, I went up to his studio and recorded that song, and we played the backing as well. Me and him played the backing.
Frank, an international
Wilkinson. Yeah. So anyway, Jamie, thank you. I've got to crack on.
No, you're welcome, Frank. It's been a pleasure being on your show again.
Great to see you, Jamie. I haven't seen you for yonks, mate.
Yeah, we'll have to catch up, Frank.
Of course we will. Of course we will. Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jamie, I'm not on Facebook anymore.
Oh, right.
I'm not on Facebook. Are you in touch with Jason? Because I need to phone you up.
Yeah. Just get my phone number.
Send him your phone number.
Okay,
Jason, Jamie got it. Has Jamie got it?
Jason, I've got it, Frank.
Will you pass it on to Jason then, so he can get hold of me?
Of course,
I want to give you a thing this week if you don't mind. Is that all right?
Just sent it to Jason now.
Excellent stuff. I'll give you the ring this week, okay?
Brilliant. Yeah, look forward to it, Frank.
But it'll be in the daytime. I won't be in the night.
No worries. I'm home. I'm home.
Excellent stuff. Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome.
Soon,
so, Frank. So, Anthony. So,
bye-bye.
Hey, Jamie. Thank you. All the best.
Isn't he a lovely fella?
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is what I want to show.
Yeah.
New Brighton. Look.
Yeah.
And that was for us. That was for us. Pity he had to go, because he would have been made up with it as well, Jamie. But that was for us. Look at the big dipper and everything. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And that was just after the war. Now. Look at the pier. Magnificent pier.
Absolutely.
Taken in 1948. And look at that. Look at the crowds. Look at the beach. Lovely beach.
Wow.
Tower Ballroom.
Yeah. Some incredible music actually played at Tower Ballroom over the years.
Yeah. And look at that pier. Look at it.
Yeah.
Look at that pier. Absolutely amazing, the entertainment. I remember going with the Auntie Vera and my Uncle Jerry. I mentioned Jerry before. And I went over with them to New Brighton. I was only a little child, a little boy.
Yeah.
And what it was, every time I say about it, I can smell the candy floss.
Yeah.
I can smell the hot dogs. I can smell or hear the music and the laughter, and it was magnificent.
Yeah, proper. We still go there now. And the kids who are now grown up go, and they remember the days when we used to go get a bag of chips and just walk from one end to the other of the front. Now changed obviously, but still there, still great.
And FC Blog says I was at New Brighton today with the kids.
There you
See what
go.
I mean?
Yeah.
See what I mean? Oh, poor Lynn's gone to bed. Thanks, Lynn. See you next week. And Paco Chanley says a lot of nice street art on the buildings in New Brighton now.
Yeah. Yeah. Believe so, Chan. Yeah.
And the vlog says, was at Southport the other day too. Can't go on the pier there anymore. Been closed for a good year or two apparently. It's dangerous. And
That's a shame.
Gary Rigby, there is some footage of a group playing on New Brighton Beach in 1966. The quality is amazing as well. That's good to know. Thanks for that, Gary. You'll be able to get that on YouTube. And just look at that.
Wow.
It's incredible. This was for us. This was for us.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned before, put a big liner there.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned before, I was, like when you're getting all these like memories of when you're a child,
Yeah.
camping, everything, and getting a penny off your uncles and aunties and putting it in these things, and
Yeah.
they're just made up. But we can't do that with kids. I can't bring my granddaughter over there. I couldn't take Francine over when she was a little girl because everything had gone.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
And Gary says it is on YouTube. They have a lazy singer, but the name escapes me now. Thanks, Gary. So we'll have a look at that. Now, I was on a walk. Why I showed the consulate of the Southern Americans, the rebels.
Yeah.
Is because I was trying to explain about the parasol on the ceiling, about there was a southern parasol, painted on the ceiling by unknown Liverpool artists. Have you heard of Augustus John?
Yes.
Well, Augustus John was in there one day, and he was looking up, he was smoking his pipe, and he was looking up and he seen something on the ceiling. And then he said, have you got a ladder? So he got a ladder, and he went up and he got his handkerchief out, and scraped it like that. And that's what he found. All that painting were shown before. And that was Augustus John. Because he was a lecturer at Liverpool University for 3 years. Augustus John.
What a find.
What a find, yeah. And the Will Peace says, I remember Frank, because he was on the walk with us.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to, what's this? You're going to be made up with this, Will. No, this, you'd never guess where this is. Never guess. People don't even know. And that's for Zackley Street. I'll tell you exactly where it is. No one knows. Only, you'll all know now. No. I thought he might have shown it. No. This is a shame. Do you see the top of that street? Can you see? Can you see my pointer? Can you see that pointer? No.
No.
No. Well, if you look at the top of the street, you see like buildings, don't you? Blocking it off.
Yeah.
Well, they're the Echo offices.
Okay.
So it's around where the Echo offices is.
Yeah.
And that's right facing the Echo offices there. beautiful buildings, and no, did you just get bypassed? Just get bypassed. And this, believe it or not, was a prison. That was a jail. It was a jail for the Napoleonic French prisoners.
Wow.
That's where they were stuck in there. Besides, the tower building as well, because it was full. So they were throwing them in there as well. And the entrance is just down there on the right, on the same side, but down there on the right where you can actually go down the stairs. And that was the entrance, because they wouldn't allow them into the main one there, the main entrance there.
Yeah.
And that was a little jail. Not only for them, there was also a jail for, the likes of pilferers on the docks, drunken sailors, and the good time girls. There was a prison for everyone. And people don't realise that. How about that? How about that? And there's the echo officers on the right, extreme right. Not by the arcade, but right at the end. They're the echo officers.
Yeah.
And that's for Zachary Street.
Yeah.
Sorry about this.
I
That
love that building on the corner. It used to be a little Italian coffee place for a while, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It certainly did. It certainly did. But isn't it wonderful to think, though, Anthony, about that people don't realise what's down the street.
Of course.
I'm
Yeah.
going to show you something. I'm going to show you. See that? No one ever recognises that. Now, that's another unknown cobbles. Now, those cobbles, the top cobbles, not the bottom ones, they were actually carved out by the French prisoners of war. That's why they're not as, shall I say, more regimented than the bottom ones, but the top ones. And that was their hard labour as well. Besides building docks and dock walls and the Georgian Quarter and Rodney Street. That's what they built, those French lads, when they was taken prisoner. It's marvellous, isn't it?
Yes.
I can't walk on cobbles anymore because, and one of the lads said, I just got a hold of my shoulder. I couldn't even step on there. And that's right facing the jail. That's right facing the jail. What I was shown there before. But I just want to go back to this. If you don't mind.
No.
I hope you don't mind.
Of course not.
Just let me go back. And it's only what this Reverend Malthus said.
What a
It's only what he said. It's only what he said, if you don't mind.
Do you know what scared me? When you and Jamie were talking about the orphanage and you described walking into what was the mortuary and the horrors of that. Those words echo in my head.
If you ever see Jared Fleming again, I just ran out. And the man said to me, he's on the steps, and he said, are you coming back, Mr. Carlyle? You doing that talk? I said, no, sorry. And I turned down a lot of money, by the way.
Yeah.
I said, no. I said, get someone else in.
Well, I could totally understand because it felt horrific enough for me just listening to you guys describing what you walked through. God knows what those poor kids went through.
Uh,
And when
that was, go on.
see
Not lovely,
that,
because this fella, W. Lewis, Will P, it was brilliant, wasn't it? That was the walk, because they came on the walk. I hope you've seen the parasol at the break what I tried to show, well, what I did show, which was lovely. And even he agrees, yeah, it was, mate. That's lovely, that. That's lovely. And you know what? I was out with Francine yesterday. Not yesterday, on Saturday. Was it Saturday? She took me shopping. And I seen one of the walkers in there, in Sainsbury's where I was. And he was lovely. He said, that was great yesterday. Thank you. I said, thanks. And he said, I seen you struggle. I said, I know, that's the way I am now. And you see me on DVDs just walking freely. And it does affect you. Does it really affect? It really, well, affects me.
Yeah.
And I just want to read this out again, if I might, please. And Reverend Malthus, think about this, people. Think about this. And what's going on today? I've just shown you pictures of New Brighton. That was our playground. And it was taken away from us. I don't care what anyone says. That was taken away from us. And lots of economy was going into New Brighton at the time. Lots of it. Lots of economy for the ferries. People don't think like that. I'm not talking about our people. And all the economy for the fares, because every summer it was chock-a-block. And as the vlog said, I was there with my kids. You see what I mean? There might be just a few things like a penny arcade or whatever you call them today. I don't know, but look at everything that was there. And people, and I'm going back to 1794. We grant you poor, the language of it, the language of this. We grant you poor a right to exist, but only to exist. The right to multiply you have not, nor the right to exist as befits human beings. You are a pest, and if we cannot get rid of you as we do other pests, you shall feel at least that you are a pest, and you shall at least be held in check, kept from bringing into the world other surpluses, either directly or through inducing in others laziness and want of employment. Live you shall, but live as an awful warning to all those who might have inducements to become superfluous. That's shocking, that.
yes.
That's an English clergy talking to English poor people. And I'll just go back. And what's going on today?
Yeah.
And to my poem, and I'll read it out again. And this is what I had written, because it does affect me. Everything affects me. The moon. There is no rich or poor or poverty living on the moon. There is no starvation or famine living on the moon. There is no hatred for each other living on the moon. There are no destructive leaders living on the moon. There are no wars over land living on the moon. There are no nuclear bombs living on the moon. Can I please live on the moon and live in peace very soon? What do you think of that?
It is. Yeah, and I totally embrace your sentiments on that. And it's like you can't imagine a pure square mile of this planet, can you, without it being
No.
fought over?
And there's a lot of symbolism as well in the moon, living on the moon.
Yeah.
Because sooner or later, if this world exists, after all what's going on now, they'll just go up to the moon and they'll start putting these, like, whatever's there, bombs and whatever. It'll be like Space Wars. That's what it'll be. They've conquered the moon already, but they'll start putting things.
Yeah. They're already kind of doing it, aren't they? If you've got billions in the bank, you can get a seat on this rocket and we'll take you to the moon. But if
Yeah. And don't you think that to go to the moon, to pay all this money, is obscene? While there's people here on Earth, you've only got to look at countries. That's why I said there's no famine or starvation on the moon, but there's starvation and there's famines here, and nothing's there to help. The only time is that the help is, it's you and me. When they put on advertisements on the TV, can you help? Can you send some money too? And it's wrong. It's the bloody governments that have caused it, that just cause all this. Governments.
It's officialdom. And when you think on what you've talked about over the past few months, the wonders of history is that there it is, it's factual, date times, and we go back to 1200 when the castle was there. We were in the same strife then as we are now.
Well, you've only got to look at my favourite quote of all time is what Jean-Jacques Rousseau, his quote, and it applies to us today. And he was talking about ordinary people then. Man is born free. However, he is everywhere in chains. In chains. And that's the sad indictment about the world. Because we're all, someone mentioned there before, and about free speech gone. And I said months and months ago, on here, I said, it's not only free speech, it's when he had, free Assange.
Yes.
Free Assange. And when I was talking about, I said, it's not only free speech. This man hasn't been locked up without charge for free speech. I said, it's freedom of thought. You can't even think now. You can't open your mouth. You can't say anything. I haven't looked at 1 millisecond of the Olympics because it's woke Olympics. It's woke pink pics. That's what it is. Woke pics, not Olympics. Woke pics. And when you see a girl boxer training for yonks, for years, and she's in the Olympics, and she's fighting a fella. She's fighting a fella. And two fellas, I don't know, I've only seen it on YouTube. I've never seen any of it, but they were talking about it. And two fellas who wanted to be women or whatever they are, I don't know, were in the final. They were fighting for the gold. So what's that telling you about these stupid Olympics? And it's not the proper Olympics. The Olympics are everybody. The world, global. Global's not there. They banned them. So until they get it right, I wouldn't watch the Euros.
No.
I wouldn't, because of it. It's the Euros, how many European countries with it? Pathetic. And even the Eurovision Song Contest. There's non-European countries in that.
Yeah.
I'm not naming it because I'll get banned. So how can you invite non-European countries in a Eurovision Song Contest? I wanted to ask you about a building on Crossall Street, Frank. It depends on what building. Do you mean, I wish you would have done, is that the one on the corner of Crossall Street and Dale Street? Because if it is, it was built by a lad named Richard Owens. And when he built it, fantastic. It's right facing, if I'm thinking, right facing the old Magistrates Court. And the Magistrates Court, that was designed by a fellow named John Whiteman, who also designed the municipal building. But that building I think you're talking about became the very first electrified building in Liverpool, because as it was just about to open, all these people with oil lamps and gas lamps and candles and everything all went up and went, hey, I can, and he said, no, I'm getting this new electricity thing in. And that became the very first electrified building in Liverpool.
That's what we were talking about today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like a church, yeah. Well, that was Sir James Picton's son who designed that. That was a church, Gary. That was a church. Because Sir James Picton, he wanted his son to become an architect. James Picton Jr. And he said, I don't want to become an architect. So a little bit of arm twisting. And anyway, he did this, design. He did that design of the church. You look, I show people it as we're walking down because people don't recognise it. Even councillors. I've shown councillors. I said, yeah, look at that. What's that? They went, oh, I've never seen that. What is it? Councillors, Liverpool councillors in the past I've shown. Not saying that they're there today. Having a clue. They haven't a clue. But Sir James Picton's son designed and it was built. It was a church. Then it became a juvenile court. I don't know what it is today, I'm being honest. But Sir James Picton's son. And that was the only, I said, I've had enough of it. I don't want to be designing buildings. Leave that to the great professionals. But anyway, he designed that, and he never became an architect. So Gary, I hope that answers you. Yeah, that's a nice building as well. And and I thought so. I've never heard you mention it before. No, but I have mentioned it on when I've done walks, in the past. I don't look at that because there are some beautiful buildings down there. Even Sir James Picton, some of his buildings are absolutely amazing. One of the most famous ones of Sir James Picton is the Racket Club.
Wow. I love that building. Yeah.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
And when I've had people in the past down there, looking up, they always thought that it was the Spanish embassy. I said, what made you say that? They said, well, aren't they Spanish up there? I said, yeah. Even Columbus's, head is there.
Yeah.
I said, no, it's a racket club. It was just, well, the racket club now. I said it was just built as a building with a Spanish theme.
It's a beautiful building.
Portuguese theme, So it's strange how some buildings get misinterpreted as like another country's thing. You'd ever think about 19 Abercrombie Square as an American consulate for the southern states of America? He was at war with each other.
No.
The Confederates.
I always got in mind that the Eagle pub down Paradise Street was connected with the American embassy because of the eagle outside. But yeah.
Well, Jay says, out with the dog in the park, Frank, watching. So he's watching us on his phone. Just neatly bumped me head on a lamppost.
Oh.
Saves you right.
See sparks.
Pack home Cham. The Royal Insurance Building, now the Loft Hotel, is a fine building. Yeah, that was built in 1903 by, he's a great lad, Irish lad. And he was, what you've got to think of, Francis L. Doyle, his name is. What you've got to think of, when he designed it, he designed a turret. Have a look when you're down there. Have a look at the turret. And it's got the eternal flame on top of it. It's all gold, it's all, it's in that gold leaf. Beautiful. And the lady who was on my walk the other day, her late husband, did the gold leaf on it. So it's a beautiful building. And have a look at the friezes, the sculptures, absolutely fantastic. You've got a child in the arms of a fireman. You've got bishops and mitres. You've got an ordinary lady. And, as I said about the firemen. So it was a fire insurance building, but they also looked after the people who were insured with them as well. Like that lady, like that child, like the homes they live in, like the churches as well, that was insured by them. And that was inside was fantastic. I don't know what they've done to it. I've been in the loft. I like the loft, going in for a beer. But unfortunately, I don't know. They must have took away the staircase It was magnificent. Marble staircase. And it says, Gary says Abercrombie Square is lovely. Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Yes.
Abercrombie. They knocked half of it down as well. They knocked a church down. Get the name of the church. Fantastic. John Foster Jr. designed it. Faulkner Square is nice as well, but looks a bit neglected now. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you love our Jason?
Oh.
Don't you just love our Jason?
Thanks, Jason.
See the lady, see the baby on the left.
Yes.
There's a little child in the arms of a fireman, and the lady, thanking him for saving the child in a fire. And the bishop's there with the mitres, and fantastic. I love it. I love looking at things like. Well, you appreciate that because you're an artist.
Yeah.
You're an artist. Fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic.
And Packer says, yes, love the freezers. Well, there's one for you, Pack. And Jay says there was no bulbs in the lamppost in the park, and I didn't see it. That's when he bumped his head. Castle Street has many wonderful buildings. You want to come with me, Pack?
Yeah.
If we ever do another war. I'll have your jaw dropped. I'll have your jaw dropped. Because it's incredible what I show. And you'll go, didn't even know them. That's true, that Pack on Chan. Pack on Chan. Well, listen, mister. My lucky number's up there. Just seen 2222. That's my lucky number. Strange, isn't it? 2222.
22. Catch 22.
Yes. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Sure.
I'll be going to bed tonight. Well, throw thumb.
You know what? You're going to wake up tomorrow, and that's going to be better. And
I hope so.
you've seen the venue today, so you know where you're going next week. Where you're going,
Yeah.
and it's a lovely.
I'm just waiting for Francine. I never phoned her. I texted. I said, "Are you working next Monday?" All the reply was, "Why?" Question mark.
That's
So
awesome.
I hope I get it because it'll be a waste of my time going on. I'll speak to you during the weekend.
Yeah.
Tell you for why. All right.
All right, Frank. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your patience today.
Oh,
Thank you for tonight as well.
pleasure. We talked. We had a lovely coffee. Sat in the fresh air. Lovely place.
Honestly, that was the only cup of tea I had all day because I couldn't, with this. When I got it, I was going to make myself a cup of tea. I'll have a cup of tea until I stood on something, and went like that. Oh, the blood just went. All that. Mad. That's why I'm drinking this, because it's cool. But it's stinging me. It's orange juice. It's stinging me. Anyway, we'll pay so much history in our city that we don't usually see, as we don't look up.
Yeah.
Well said, Will.
Exactly right, Will.
Well said, because it's as simple as that. See, don't forget what people don't realise. What people don't realise is that when you see shop fronts, like the buildings above it weren't shops at the beginning. You see what I mean? So, you know, if you look up, you can see.
See?
Bow Street, Bow Street, you know, Bow Street has some fantastic buildings. Bow Street.
I love it. I mean,
And banks.
some of them used to be theatres. And
Yeah, they are fantastic. Concert Square. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And mansions. You know, take away the frontage, there was mansions.
well, this is another one that at one time we, the lower classes, weren't allowed to walk along Bow Street, were we?
No. And we weren't allowed to go into parks. We were not allowed to go into parks. Even St. John's Gardens, when that opens up, they ain't allowed to go in it. That's why they have big gates on and big railings all around. So they took the gates away and the railings all around for the First World War effort, because they wanted to make shells and bullets and that, which they couldn't do anyway. So it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. But they took away them. And they weren't allowed. Princess Park, for example, was the first park. Paxton. And he designed it beautiful. Absolutely stunning. But if you and I went in there, we'd be arrested and put in jail for vacancy. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
So you had to be, you know, a lady or a gentleman walking around. But if you were a little vagabond, oh, Nick, even children, you know, I'm not talking about adults here. So, you know, there was, it still applies today, let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. Still applies today for the poor. And, you know, as I mentioned about that Malthus and what he said.
Yes.
So anyway, I'll have to finish.
Okay.
Look at me tongue.
That's the last time you try and eat a pint glass.
You're going to take down pulling tongues at them. But I couldn't talk. I said, I won't be able to do the show. And I was going to around 5 o'clock tell Jason, I won't be able to do the show. I can't talk. Anyway, that's what I mean. That's why I texted Francine louder than I thought, because I couldn't talk.
Yeah.
So then around, I don't know what bloody time it was. So I had to say something to myself to see if I could talk without bubbling. And I could talk then, you know. I did a quote. I can resist anything except temptation. That's an Oscar Wilde quote.
Wow.
You know, so I said that. I said, I can talk. So I'll be able to do the show. So all as I want to do is thank Gap Painting Services for sponsoring the Frank Carlyle Show. Wonderful people, time served, everything about them is wonderful. Time served, fully insured. If you're a senior, get them in. Please get them in. Don't be struggling, and you'll get a special discount. And if you're an NHS worker, get them in. Get them in. Another special discount. Even if you're not like one of those They're still reasonable people. Get them in. They are very, very good. As I said, and fully insured, old-time server lads, and they're very quick in and out. So don't be worrying about anything. And Anthony, got to thank you. Thank you so much. As usual. See you next Monday.
See you Monday.
See you next Monday. More history. More history. And especially to the other fella, Jason, for putting everything on. Because without Jason, he wouldn't be a show, really. I can't do all this. I'm not saying nonsense. I'm just saying all this technical stuff. And especially because without these lads and girls, I wouldn't be able to do the show.
No.
And just go down a little bit.
Thank you, one and all.
Yeah. Great show, lads. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
Gary, Botanic Gardens and park wardens. Yeah, of course they did. That's why the whole family, they gave, it's called the mystery today, well, because it was a mystery donor that he gave it to the working class kids so that they could play around. And it's still there today because no one was allowed to go on, only the rich. So you're right there. You're right there, Botanic Gardens. And don't forget Botanic Gardens. It was the very first botanical gardens in the world. William Roscoe brought all those wonderful exotic plants. No one had ever seen them before. And he put them there in 1801. William Roscoe. They reckon he's the greatest Liverpoolian.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but...
Well, certainly in the top 5, Frank.
Oh, yes, certainly. And there's our Will P. Great show as usual, Frank and Anthony. Thank you both. That lovely. And he was with us on the walk. He was helping me, He was carrying me bag because I can't carry it. And I had my hands on his shoulder, crossing the roads and that.
Yeah.
And he's not half helpful. What a lad, what a fella.
Sorry I missed you, Will. Next time.
Yeah, you couldn't make it, could you? Gary Rigby, gargle with salt water, Frank. I went, are you kidding me? It'll kill me. Sure he doesn't like. Ali Danus, our Romanian friend. Good night to all. Thank you, Ali.
Ali.
See you all you Reds, so see you all tomorrow night anyway. And Paco Tian. Thanks, Frank, Anthony, and Jason. Good night.
Thanks, Frank. Thank you.
That was to the point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks, Frank, Anthony, and Jason. Good night.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pat. That was lovely. Thanks, Jason. Watch out for the lamppost. 6 months. And next time I'll go out on out when Frank's not on. Next time I'll go out when Frank's not on. Very much. Gary says, I know the mystery well, Frank. Remember the Liverpool show? Yes. We don't have nothing. It's everything's being taken away. Lemon and honey, Mayo, says Pac.
That's a good combination.
And do you know what I was going to have for me tea tonight? I've got it here. Sweet and sour. I love sweet and sour. And I couldn't have it because of...
Tomorrow night.
I hope it heals up. I hope I'll be able to. I just want a cup of tea. Just want a cup of tea.
I'll go for Chan's suggestion. A little hot water, lemon and honey, spoonful of honey, slice of lemon.
Do you know what? And I bet you our Lainey's got that in, hasn't she? I haven't got a lemon. What have I got? Why would I have a lemon in the house? Why would you have a jar of honey in the house? I only have, I do pasta, as you know, I cook pasta myself. But I have nothing like that. I've got soy sauce. Yeah, I love soy sauce. But I won't be able to use that because I got a packet of, out of Sainsbury, a little pot of special fried rice. But I love the Chinese, out of the Chinese special fried rice. Love it. Love it. Oh, bloody starving now. Only on its own, says Jay.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. See you next week, says Gary.
Good night, Gary. Cheers.
And listen to it. I'll hear Frank Carlyle scream from here. The tang of lemon.
11.
At least someone knows. Someone knows. Frank, if I go transgender, Jay, can I ring you? Jay, can I ring you? Let me know right now. Can I ring you after this? Let me know right now if I can. Please. I'll just have to wait to see if you message me. Might have gone to bed. Might have gone out with the bloody. Yeah, that'll do me. I'll ring you right after this, Jay. Thank you. People, it's been brilliant. You've been so lovely for me tonight. And Anthony as well. You know, for me and Anthony. And don't forget Jamie as well with his mad stories. They're not mad, they're frightening. But he'll be back in a couple of weeks anyway. So, I'm sorry, I said when you come back, I'll be going to bed tonight going, hearing every sound, and shaking. By all says Will Pay. Thank you, Will.
Bye, Will.
So much. I might go on nuke now. Thank you. Thanks, Will. Anyway, so it's for me and Anthony. Thank you so much, people. And we'll see you tomorrow night for the football show. Oh, yeah. I asked for sauce in the chippy. He said, HP. I said, no, I'll pay now. I think we'll be paying for HP. I'm telling you, the way things are going now, Gary. The way things are going. And look, he's laughing his little head off. No. Oh, nuts. Anyway, see you all tomorrow night on the football pod. It starts at 8. I might be doing a special, and it's not football or history, on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock as well. It's about what's going on. And I'll read my poem out to you. Thank you so much, people, from me and Anthony. And see you all next week on the History Show. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good night. God bless.